Our world is splintered by myth. It is a shield against the unknown, and those who threaten that shield are banished.
We are the chosen. Unquestioning faith is our salvation.
First of all, I don't really think any other game is gonna top this one in this list, so I'm just gonna Savior, which is apparently not only a Metroidvania action adventure hack and slash platformer, but at the same time an open world one, is now targeting Switch in addition to all previously announced platforms and throughout winter next year. To accompany the news, they also came up with another trailer.
Sam.
The moment we've all been waiting on. Record of Lodoss War, the Elite Wonder Labyrinth is finally due out December 16, and as I've suspected earlier, it's also going to be available on the Nintendo Switch, in addition to other platforms including PCs. Now check it out. Record of Lodoss War is actually one of the most acclaimed franchises out of the past decade that goes all the way back to 30 years ago. Totally New actually revealed no more than a handful of minutes ago. That's actually a lie, but Chrono Reanimated is a high-bit action platformer, as you'll come to notice, with all the right elements when it comes to Metroidvanias. There's a puzzle element here, and there's quite a bit of boss fights to boot as well. Check it out real quick. This game is scheduled to come out June 2nd, 2023.
Choose what kind of legend you want to write. Do you have the spirit of a great soldier?
On the other hand, we have Soldiers, actually a Souls-like Vania with a lot of exploration and a deep story within. Now, this actually comes with an interesting twist as well, which is you get to choose different classes here, besides the fact that the game actually looks really good. Now, check it out. This game doesn't have a specific release date other than mid-2022 and into PCs and also the Nintendo Switch.
In a world where life and death seem to blur into one, become the toughest warrior, master new abilities, and retrieve powerful artifacts. But don't get too confident. Never underestimate the enemy. They could be more powerful than you imagine. Will you be strong enough to succeed and bring your fellow soldiers back home?
Here's the thing, we have Berserk Studio, on the other hand, which is back with the announcement of a new retro-inspired Metroidvania that goes by Infernax. What I think I would have to call a monstrous throwback to old classic 8-bit adventures of 80s, but apparently with a modern appeal here. This game releases into consoles and PCs, Nintendo Switch of course, in just a few months. from now. Bushido, on the other hand, is still on its track of late 2021 release, targeting PCs, the PlayStation 4 and also the Nintendo Switch. Now, they even came up with another gameplay showcase just a little while ago, just to show how far development's gone, which is technically speaking actually done. And last but not least, specifically for those of you new, this is a retro-style Metroidvania, pretty much in the same vein as Neo Geo's 90s hits, actually about a cybergenetic ninja. Talking about hand-drawn games, Crow Swan is another Metroidvania with that particular focus, and with a strong design emphasis on explorative platforming, some immersive combat focused at the team address, aligned with a compelling story. Now check it out. This game's actually coming to all consoles and PCs, well of course Switch is included, with only a single downside. This game is due out in late 2023. Moving on. Akatori is at the moment listed on Steam with a to-be-announced release date, with a Kickstarter campaign is said to be coming our way real soon. And just in case you are a bit confused, yes, this game was formerly named Death Stick, and now Akatori, which I've actually been led to believe refers to the red canary you've seen in the trailer. Anyway, this action platformer now releases mid to late next year, and as always, to accompany the news, they also came up with another trailer. Now, Last Faith is an exploration-based Metroidvania, actually pretty much in the same vein as Blasphemous, if I say so myself, with a heavily dark gothic theme at its core. Now, we all know this one's actually been in development for a good couple of years, and at the moment, actually one of the most hype and at the same time best-looking games out of the genre. Not to mention, now into the Nintendo Switch, early to mid next year. Y'all know Lost Rooms. Lost Rooms is a 2D side-scrolling survival game in which you play as a girl without memories. Has an insanely positive review score on Steam right now, and it's a fairly cheap game as well, if we're being honest. Now keep it in mind, this game is coming out of its whatever phase and into a full finished product sometime later this year, but this time also into the Nintendo Switch. Moving on, we have Moonrider, that only came our way just a few months ago and with a really short trailer, the premise of which is basically Moonrider is a mutant weapon and was made by a fascist state, which then for some reason wakes up and then turns against them, and like, it looks a lot like Contra, this game, but story-wise, not really. Check it out. Moonrider is coming to consoles, Switch, and PCs sometime next year. Hollow Knight Silksong, which was announced only 1,000 days ago, or basically 3 bigs, is probably the longest anticipated game in this list, and with a countless amount of false update ever since. But hey, the game is now rumored with a potential 2022 release, and not that far off either. Like, we're talking only a few months away from now, so just keep it in mind for now. Rune Fence Aurelia is probably the one most of you are already familiar with. If not, however, it's an atmospheric action platformer with a heavy focus on exploration and combat. There's all the Vania elements one could actually count, and with a lot of boss fights to boot. I've even been led to believe that there's a decent story behind all of that. Now check it out, this game's now targeting both PCs and Switch, and due out sometime possibly early next year. Then we also have Hack, what's described as a, well, basically a Metroidvania-inspired action platformer with a heavy focus on smooth combat and platform exploration. So Hack's actually been sitting right up there on Steam since September this year with some good reviews scoring out of its early access phasing into a full state, this time into the Nintendo Switch, also sometime next year. Last but not least at all, if you are looking for some, I'm not gonna lie, some real good looking old school Castlevania makeover, Aeternal Noctis may just be the one for you. This comes with plenty of exploration, lots and lots of fast-paced action, platform puzzles and frantic combat. That's been in the making for quite a while actually, and now due out, finally, December 15th this year. Check it out.